Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
He gone. You know, I was shocked to see it. You know, some months ago when he went into Venezuela and he just did that capture, they just did that capture on one evening in 3 hours. Everyone was like, okay, kind of shocked. Now, a few months later, he's taken out this lad. Khamenei's gone.
Is gone. It is such a good thing for this world. It is a day of celebration because the head of this murderous, oppressive, evil regime, as well as more than 40 senior Iranian leaders, they're gone.
You know, people are the opposite side of this are saying, yeah, we should probably promote conversation. Let's conduct some negotiations. It's impossible to negotiate with these people. They are oppressive. They have thousands, tens of thousands of their own citizens of blood on their hands because their own citizens have wanted the change in the regime, and whenever they've wanted that, they just get offed. They just get cut immediately. So what can talks really amount to?
And right now, celebrations are taking place inside Iran. This is their chance of freedom, something they have been waiting for.
Oh, it's a party. They're certainly loving it.
And celebrations are taking place right around the world. In Australia, in Britain, in America, people are taking to the streets. They are saying, thank you, Donald Trump. Here is CNN's report from LA.
Celebration is striking. We got here just moments after initial reports, initial rumors of the death of Ayatollah Khamenei had just started to trickle.
And people be out in the streets, you know.
To this diaspora community, and people were jumping in excitement, hugging each other, crying, saying that basically they've been
Of course,
47
this
years
guy
for
has
this
murdered
very
family
day.
members.
Jessica,
People
the reason
suppressed them.
So many of them have come out here today.
Literally
I
put
want
them
you to hear
through
from one
a
them
bunch of
specifically
nonsense and
his
hell
thoughts
for
right after
many
learning
years,
that the Supreme
40
Leader of
plus.
Iran was dead.
So of course they're happy for this salvation.
When is the last time you saw people in Israel and Iran dancing on the streets in excitement? And when is the last time you've ever heard of a country coming out and dancing?
And a trend has broken out of people around the world doing the Trump dance.
This is gonna kill the lefties. This is gonna kill the lefties, 100%. They still got an old Xbox there in the background though. That's a 360. Is that just like a decorative ornament? When was this taken? That's an old ass. Is this in Iran? I'm getting sidetracked. It's a banger.
We love to see it. And here is the President of the United States confirming and announcing to the world that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead.
We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building.
9 ships.
All in a matter of literally minutes.
9 ships. I had no idea that they also went for ships.
Ayatollah Khamenei is dead. This wretched and
He's gone. He's long gone, guys.
Vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries.
What an incredible moment in history. And let's just take a look at what life was like in Iran.
They are pretty decisive in these hits. This is kind of badass. Let's not lie.
Before the Islamic Revolution. And of course,
they were chilling. They were chilling. They were having a good time with life, it seems.
After the Islamic Revolution, women's rights were taken away. They were thrown into prison for showing their hair. Free speech was gone. People were murdered for protesting. And as we saw at the start of the year, although many lefties and feminists looked the other way.
You know, the left is gonna take some serious shade for this stuff. You know, all the women's rights, all these human rights stuff. No, though, complete radio silence from their side on the Iranian people. The most brutal regime, especially against people like women who have, you know, suffered a huge amount of brutality in this from this regime. Yet complete radio silence from the left. Who cares? Well, I don't know. Seems a bit odd.
Thousands of people were slaughtered as they took to the streets. President Donald Trump promised them that help was on the way, although it took more than a few weeks to get here.
And he was one of the maybe only, if not the only president that actually rose to the call.
Help has arrived through Operation Epic Fury, targeting
name.
Iran's
Epic
ballistic
Fury.
missile system and leadership. Now, this, of course, it's going to get ugly over the coming weeks and months, but there is now a power vacuum in Iran.
You know, the fact that they're saying this is an attack against Islam is just phony baloney. Because Iran is also hostile against other Islamic states. They are firing missiles into other countries that are Islamic, that have Islamic law. They're not an Islamic protectionist state. They don't protect the religion of Islam. They're using Islam as like a cover of what the totalitarian regime is that they truly seek to be. And they're using propaganda, all kinds of mechanisms to shield themselves from any blame. And they just need to be completely obliterated off the face of the planet.
A daylight military operation, totally unexpected, striking at the very moment that senior leaders were coming together to discuss plans about what they might do
Imagine
next.
the conversation around the table like, you know what? Let's hit them in the day. Let's hit them daytime. You know, while he's taking his Sunday walk or something.
I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you.
He speaks very well. Come on. Like that communication is clear, powerful. He stands there very prominently, you know, prominent stances. But he communicates this in a very good way. Take back your country, the true patriots. We're here to help you. There is a moment to seize upon. And we are gonna do this together, hand in hand. Let's rise for the good in this world.
But we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors. And God bless the United States of America.
God bless. Surprising.
Australia stands with the brave people of Iran in their struggle against what is an oppressive regime.
Yeah, this is kind of surprising, to be fair. I'm happy to hear that Australia are standing with Iran against the Ayatollah and with the United States.
Ayatollah Khamenei was responsible for the regime's ballistic missile and nuclear program, support for armed proxies, and its brutal acts of violence and intimidation against its own people.
Thank you, Anthony Albanese, for that swift response. He failed to mention
Fair
Israel,
response.
and that is a disgrace, but I will, of course, commend him on backing this operation quickly, because Australians, we know too well the terror that has been unleashed right here on our home soil.
Yeah, wasn't it like 3 months or 2 months ago that some Islamic people went out and went on a death run against a picnic event, a little event from Israelis, from the Jews on the beach, and they were just kind of opening fire on a sweet little picnic event next to the side of the beach from a bunch of peaceful Jews, essentially trying to massacre as many people as they could. And so, of course, it just brings more clarity to which side is really the side to support.
2 attacks orchestrated by Iran, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne in the last 18 months. This is not about war. No one wants a forever war, including the president. This is about regime change. And the president of the United States and Israel have the courage to take this course of action. which is of course high risk but may just be high reward. And people need to remember that taking out the...
I absolutely agree that these wars should not be forever wars. It needs to be swift, brutal and decisive. Get it done, get it over with and get out of there.
So right now, the world is celebrating because the president has changed the course of history for the better. Yet Democrats are so miserable and they're so stupid. They would rather support a murderous dictator.
Of course they're miserable. It's like in their cult or in their religion to be against whatever the orange man does. Even if he does something that's good for the world, even if he does something, says something that's uncontroversial, it's impossible for them to give him credit. It goes against everything that they've been indoctrinated to think and do and be for in the last 10 years or so. They would never stand. They would never stand for anything that Donald Trump does.
Then give credit to the President of the United States and Israel for making the world a safer place. Here's the inspiring and very eloquent failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris.
Bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately.
She's so irrelevant.
They definitely took a snippet there. I don't know exactly what the full package of words that she used, but she doesn't really have a big packet of words anyway. But the fact that she's not saying anything about the Iranian people, their salvation, their liberation, and any topics on this war, just saying that we need to act against Trump. It's a completely unpopular statement. They will continue to lose backing from anyone who has a firm grasp on reality.
Kamala Harris also put out a statement saying, "I know the threat that Iran poses and they must never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, but this is not the way to dismantle that threat."
What is the way to dismantle this threat? They're not going to sit down at a table. You're not gonna have a conversation with them where you reach a policy or terms where they say, yeah, here are our weapons, here are our nukes, you can take them. They're never gonna. They export terrorism. They're definitely hostile. You have to take force against people like this and their regimes. That's the only way, and that's what's been done.
Okay, Kamala Harris knows best. I mean, what on earth is your plan, Kamala Harris, to make sure the most destabilizing force on the planet does not have nuclear weapons? What happened while you were vice president under Biden? That's right, October 7, 1,200 innocent people killed, including dozens of Americans. Kamala has zero credibility. Insanely wealthy celebrities who apparently know how to deal with the Islamic regime and who apparently have a real issue with the likely liberation of the Iranian people who have been genuinely oppressed for decades.
Of the United States.
I can't imagine that people would be, especially lefties who always claim to be for human rights and the rights for minorities, especially like women and stuff like that, that they can't see this angle. It's completely it's a blind spot for them for reasons that I can't explain. It's inexplicable.
States are here to tell the Trump administration, you may wage this war in our names, but not with our...
I'm sure she's reading off a letter that they sent her in the mail, like, oh, you're gonna go out and you're gonna go speak on a mic. Here's the letter, just read this out.
Trump is a sad, unhinged man. He is at war on many fronts. He is at war against...
To be fair, he looks like he's strutting his stuff. He's living his best life out there. I wouldn't say sad.
Democracy. He is at war against our constitutional rights, especially our First Amendment right, free speech and free assembly.
You know, the irony is that you guys are the people that want to put violence in words. You want to say that words are violence. You guys are attacking free speech. Yet when somebody else is in power, you claim that the exact thing that you're trying to stop others from having is what they have and what they're trying to do against you. That's like classic playground playground tactics from these people. The biggest gaslighters on the face of the planet.
He's at war against those of us who believe that the right to engage in dissent is what democracy is all about.
But you're allowed to
He
speak,
is
lady.
at war against immigrant families. He is very definitely at war against the environment and is
The environment.
now vastly accelerating climate catastrophe. He's taken away every effort to stop corporate polluters.
Lady, you got more of a climate catastrophe in your hair than the vast majority of people make on a daily basis. What are you talking about?
From poisoning our air and poisoning our water. We are here today, and thank you for being here, and we will be in the streets tomorrow and in the coming days and weeks to demand that this new war in the Middle East end.
Yeah, sure. The regimes that you guys supported basically had those on endless non-tap wars. But of course, these replies are so obvious, predictable from these people who are completely detached from reality. But the fact that they cannot even say a grateful word, a word of happiness for the people who have been liberated and who have been suffering and are being helped, I think is very telling.